Welcome inside the Classic Candlepins Control Center for the second round matchup of our second ladder of the year. Along with Mark Ritchie and our entire crew, my name is Kyle Bruce, and Mark, we have a tremendous matchup in store for this second round. We saw Peter Pereira advance last week over Chuck DeRocher, and he faces our third seed Dave Godwin, who finished 6-18 in the roll-off. Dave is a veteran of the youth candlepin scene, but this is his first appearance as an adult on TV under the lights. What's the difference being an adult, being on television, the kind of pressure that you feel performing in front of an audience?
It can be nerve-wracking. I was on TV a few times on the old show myself, and you've bowled a million times in your life. At least if you're at the point where you're on a television roll-off. You've bowled so many strings, you bowl 3 or 4 nights a week, you've gone to tournaments, you've gone everything else. Then they turn the lights on, and instantly it's a different atmosphere. You're now under the full pressure of the lights, and everybody's eyes watching you, and you're bowling on the TV pins, and it's a nerve-wracking situation sometimes. You know, after a while you get some poise and you can go with it, but the first time is not a very easy time whatsoever. But I know Dave, and Dave has bowled on several very, very big stages. Like I said in last week's episode, he's bowled up at the World Championships, set a house record at the World Championships. That is absolutely no joke. He has won that tournament twice. So the man is familiar with bowling under the lights and the pressure of many, many, many people watching him. So I don't know if it'll faze him too much. And now where Peter has, got by Chuck last week and he's under the lights and this will be his second match, I get a funny feeling we're going to see 2 bowlers settle in and probably have one of the best matches that we've ever seen.
Well, we certainly look forward to it. Again, Peter Pereira, our 4th seed, moves on to face our 3rd seed, Dave Godwin. We'll be back in the Classic Candlepins Control Center after this second round matchup. We'll see you then. Enjoy the match. It's Saturday night. That means we're back in downtown Amesbury for Classic Candlepins. For our entire crew, and Rich Lamoni, my partner, my name is Kyle Bruce, and we're here for 3 strings of scratch candlepin bowling with total pinfall determining our winner. Rich, last week we saw Peter Pereira advance to our second round, and today he's going to meet our third round with our 3rd seed, I should say, in Dave Godwin. Tell our viewers a little bit about Dave and the kind of bowling we should expect from him today.
If he doesn't throw multiple strikes, I would be shocked. He absolutely wiped the floor with us, and I'm going to go into more detail during the match.
I look forward to hearing that.
One of the most exciting bowlers on the lanes, one of the most young bowler too, so he has the energy to go all day. So 3 strings, 30 strings, he's going to bowl the same.
Should be a great second round matchup. The winner of this will face Mark Ritchie in our semifinal, and we'll get underway right after this timeout.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore. And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy, and giving up impossible.
And then we're gonna turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
Finally won.
What's your reaction gonna be? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods.
Okay, what else?
Common.
This is their world.
There's nothing.
And then they die. Go ahead, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
On to get us started in downtown Amesbury's Peter Pereira on lane 7. He's our 4th seed. Got some good mixing action that time, and as he's left with the 7 and the 9. What do you think, Rich?
Almost like the cap of the front wood. You're figuring it's going to deflect to the left and the ball's going to try strictly.
You are the man, as is Peter. Spare
I need
in
to
the
talk
first.
faster.
Bonus. And the bomb
That's
to get
how
it
to start the
started off.
string.
A good start for Peter Pereira as he goes strike on spare. And here is our third seed, Dave Godwin from Methuen. Today's the first day I met Dave. I already like him because he says he's a Celtics fan, so God bless him.
He's got a heart of gold.
Starts off with a 158. Dave last week in the Pro Series won a doubles event with his partner Chris Ketty in Bradford. One of his 3 Pro Series wins.
That was a title defense too.
Yes, they won earlier in the year, correct. Starts off our second round match with a 7. The owner of a 235 high single and a 486 high triple. And he's looking at the 4 horsemen left. Ooh. 7 remains that time.
Great bid on the 4 horsemen.
And a 10 box.
Contrary to what I believe. Don't make fun of me, but
I would
played
never
the
make
4
fun.
I played the 4 horsemen inside last night and it went.
Well,
I was trying to go outside, my ball carried into the 1-2 pocket and it went.
Peter has the triangle in the right corner. It's the 6, 9, and 10. He has no wood. And that was his first bonus ball. Fills his strike with 8. But he gets out of the gate very quickly. 10 box. He has the game face on, as does Dave, and when you're accustomed to being under the lights, as Peter has for many years,
And this is nothing new for Pete.
outside that
and he takes
time, and
it.
a beautiful spare. Three out of 4 is not a bad way to start our second round matchup. Again, the winner will face Mark Ritchie in our semifinal matchup. Dave was a little heavy that
is a
time,
legal
but
piece of wood.
I don't know what.
I don't know if I'd play it.
I don't think you have a choice.
Yeah.
Cap it, see what happens. That was the only option. The 3-pin remains.
The angle it was sitting at, I can't believe it didn't hit the 3-pin. I don't know how that was the one stand. I was more concerned with the 7-pin in the back. Dave moves over to lane 6. He's looking to get on the board here and match Peter's mark in the 4th.
And a punch out, 2-8. Dave is single, works at the Borelli's Italian Deli. Has 2 pins remaining. And a 9 box. He's opened his first 4.
Pete's looking to fill his spare on lane 7. Setting himself up for a very good first half.
And the ball.
For Phil, who's the 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
just made the shot on lane 6.
Went inside this time and left the 6 and 10. And a 10 box, give him a 72 half.
Pin on the head pin again. 9 drop, leaves the 10 pin. A couple of pieces of wood fire off to the left that shouldn't help. Go right at it, wide open.
Yes. Dave is back up on lane 7, searching for his first mark of the first string of our second round matchup. Got a pretty good break that time.
Absolutely.
1, 3, 4, and 7. I believe the shot is wired, but you would know better than I.
I would think if he hits the head pin on the right side, he would that would be the way to carry the 3 pin, which is the one that's still there.
He is pinning. Peter with a 26 pin advantage here after 5 boxes completed. And he's got his first spare leave.
He's looking at just the 10 pin with nothing there. No help. Dave doesn't need it though.
Yes. His first mark of the match. Big 9. Yes.
It's all over his singles.
Thin hit that time.
1, 3 in the back row. 7, 8, 9, 10. He's got some wood out there, so he's got to hit that head pin, and the pile should go. And yes. The pile went. Peter's already at 6 marks on the day.
Dave is up looking to fill his first spare of the match. And he has a 6 fill. 1, 3, 6, and 7. Capable of making shots like this. Let's see if Dave can do it. Yes!
Right on.
Beautiful conversion that time. And
good use of the deadwood behind the head pin.
72 plus a ball here.
He's opposite a 4 fill, so he can gain some ground here if the good fill. Like that.
Good call, strike on spare. Both of these guys capable of big, big scores, so we're certainly happy that you're here to watch our second round matchup. And welcome back to Splitsville as we fills it with 6.
But how is it not the 5, 6, 7, 10?
I know it. Ask for a refund or something, I'm not sure. Still 3 pins standing.
Still managed a 6 fill. Puts him at 127 in the 8th. I mean 121 in the 8th.
Fine opening string here for Peter as he has a 7 that time to put him at 128. Another pocket hit, this time the 4 pin. Yes.
He's 3 for 3 on singles this string.
So that'll be 138 plus a ball. Nice finish. 7th fill and a 145 first string for Peter Pereira. Dave Godwin has 3 marks in a row. He has a strike going. First bonus ball. Dave has the Woolworth here, but I think if he... Would you go high on that wood, or what do you think, Rich?
His ball breaks so sharply left to right that I would go low on it.
That's why we have you here and why I'm not bowling. So that makes it 4 marks in a row as he goes spare on strike.
112 in the 9th with the ball.
So he's cut into Peter's lead. This is a great first string here.
We carried some extras there. He leaves the 1-3 and the 7 pin.
So Peter's lead is now 9. Let's see if Dave can cut this over. Not this time. So he ends it with an 8 box and a 127. So after our first string, Peter Pereira's at 145, Dave Godwin's at 127. We'll step away and be back with our second string right after this timeout.
I'm only 17, but I know about investing. Believe in something, buy shares in it, watch it grow. So, what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. I could be one of the first college graduates from my family. The first philanthropist from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there's a second and a third. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
We are back on Classic Candlepins, and to start our second string, the higher seed leads us off, and that would be our third seed, Dave Godwin, trailing by 18. Dave got it going, getting an 81 second half in our first string after starting open the first 5 boxes. Nice bid, but couldn't get the corners to comply with that bid.
Sometimes those 7 and 10 pins are so far away from everything else on the rack.
Starting it off with a 9, and the voice you may hear in the background was our guest on the pilot episode of this show. That would be Tony Marie Balbinelli,
Dave
Right in the pocket.
crushes the head pin there. Leaves the 6-10 with a piece of wood. Leaning up against the 6.
Very explosive. A $9.
18 after 2. Pete steps up on lane 7.
The owner
Opposite
of
Dave's 2 open boxes.
yes. The owner of a 145 first string.
Pete
As he
leaves a
looks
right
at-
check mark.
Yes.
No money for that one.
No,
just
because
the
it's-
left one.
It's just standard. This
Yeah.
is a standard one. $10. Very smooth. You can't even hear the ball hit the lane as it goes down. Gets great mixing action with the ball breaking from right to left. Dave throws a backup ball, so his ball's breaking from left to right. But the bottom line is both get great mixing action, and that's why they're on this show competing in second round matchup.
Pete's a little off the head pin. He leaves the head pin and the 8 and 9.
Put it down. Spare in the second.
Seventh spare for Peter today.
Over a 400 clip. There it is. Moving over to lane 6 now. Bonus. Thin hit. Fills the spare with 6. 3, 7, 8, 9.
That's fun.
Oh yeah. Nice shot. Back-to-back spares for Dave will be 44 plus a ball. Peter's back up on lane 7, filling his spare from the second.
There's a nickel. Leaves the left check mark. I'm up to 10 cents today.
I know it. We are high budget here. Bounced it a bit and almost able to pull it off. $10. $21 the lead overall. Peter's opposite a spare in the fourth that Dave just put up. And I'll have to negotiate a split as he has the 2, 4, 6, 7 if my eyes do not betray me.
You are correct.
Whoa, do I get one of those nickels back?
I'll give you a nickel for that.
No, thank you.
That's worth it. We're doing better than the first show.
That we are.
Calling
yes.
the wrong pins.
Yes.
And
Well, that
which
was on
ones
me.
fell over.
Yes. And that's an 8 box. So we'll go into the break here. Box is completed. Peter Pereira and Dave Godwin are tied at 44, but again, Dave does have that bonus ball, so we'll be back with the conclusion of our second string right after this timeout. Welcome back to the conclusion of this second string of our second round matchup on Classic Candlepins.
Dave's up on lane 7. Big fill here. He can get the lead down to single digits, or the deficit rather. And that's a big fill.
Can't do it any better than that. A strike on spare. Finding a rhythm after the little bit of a slow start here, but he's certainly picked it up. Let's see what he does here. First bonus ball.
He's on the head pin again.
The triangle.
3, 5, 6.
He's got it.
Over it.
Responding to the challenge is our third seed here today, and Peter is back up. Thin hit this time.
1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9.
10.
10, yes. I was just looking at the reverse and realizing he just made the 3, 4, 5. So
yeah.
I just paused and did not tell our viewers that the 10 pin was still standing.
That's all right, but Peter gets out of it with a 10. This has the feel of a heavyweight fight. Back and forth. Off the head pin that time, but this is doable as he's looking at 1, 3, 6, 7, and 9. A couple pieces of wood on the deck.
This would be a big mark. He's opposite a spare here.
He turned his head as soon as he let it go. He knew he was off target that time. And a 9 box. So that puts Peter at 63 after 6. Dave is at 84. He has a ball.
He's up 3 pins overall because of the 9 box, and then he will add to it with this fill.
He also has 4 marks in a row. Oh, the
5 bomb.
He was angry. My goodness. 10 in the pit here for our third seed, as he's got 5 marks in a row now and has assumed the lead of 13 in boxes completed. 104 plus 2. Well, he may have gotten a bit of a break there as the 10 pin goes, but he's got another ball.
1, 3, 5, 7, 9.
A little heavy that time on number 1, so he fills it with 7.
Already at 120 in the 8th box.
Well, Rich, we talked about it. Both of these bowlers, with the statistics that they have and the championships they've won, we can see some big numbers today, and we're seeing a great second round matchup, and we're glad that you're here to watch it with us. Peter right now has a split. He has 4, 7, 10. He does have a piece of wood in front of the 4.
He's actually got 2 there, so that could either be...
See how he uses it. Oh! The ball nearly took out the 10. Peter opposite a strike 7, so he's going to lose some pins and count. That lead is going to build as we see the illustrious Francis W. Stanwood clearing that ball. 10 box. No applause for Frank. I hold you personally responsible for this, by the way.
My fault?
Yes.
How's that my fault?
You have tremendous influence in our game. I wouldn't underestimate you at all. The lead is 20 and boxes completed. Peter moves over to lane 6 here. I don't think Frank's very upset about it, but we can talk to him afterwards. And
we'll just interview him instead of the bowlers.
Yes, we'll make sure that we do that. Peter has a triangle on the left composed of the 4, 7, and 8. He's got the 10, no wood. I think he can cut it over.
I've seen him do it before. Oh, what a bid. It's 2 great bids in a row. That's the thing that's frustrating is, you know, he's throwing what appears to be a great ball. Somebody comes over, looks at the score sheet, and says, wow, he's down 37 pins. And Pete's bowling great.
He's been on the object. He was on the head pin. It's been like that today and also in our first round matchup, and we know that he's more than capable of coming back.
It's not like he's missing. It's not like he's throwing balls away or leaving pins standing.
Dave has the 310.
Pete did pick up a pin and count that last box, so the lead is 19 for Dave.
Well, he capped it and it didn't go over to get the 10, so he'll be open in box number 9. Dave is already over his average as he was on the first string, and as he takes out the single and is 130 after 9. The Methuen native. House record in Halifax, 221.
When did he throw that?
It doesn't have a date.
It doesn't
here.
have it. Another great ball. Leaves a split. I think if my GPS tracker is working correctly, it's the 4, 6, and 10 with a piece of wood in front of the 6 and 10.
I believe you.
Oh,
tried to snap it over and couldn't get the 4. $140 for the second string of our second round matchup for Dave Godwin. That'll put him at 267.
A couple of marks here can get the match close going into the last string.
Opposite a pair of 10s. That's how you get started with that, as Peter has a single pin to negotiate. It's the 7. Little pin picking time here for our 4th seed. Yes.
All over it. 4 for 4.
He bounced it, but was able to convert. 93 plus a ball in the 9th. Bonus. And he fills it with 5. 4 horsemen right plus the 7. Yes.
The lead is down to 14.
Piece of wood in front of that 7 pin. Was on the head pin, but he's going to be open. Nine box for a 107 second string. And a 252, so it's a 15-pin lead for our 3rd seed, Dave Godwin. After 2 strings, Dave Godwin, 267. Peter Pereira's at 252. We'll step away and be back with our 3rd and final string right after this timeout. We are back for our final string here on Classic Candlepins, the second round matchup. Peter Pereira's up, down 15. Oh, and the Woolworth with no wood to start off. He's going to cut it over. I have a feeling.
We'd all like to see it.
I got a feeling, I'm telling you. Well, bounced it a bit that time, but Peter's been very accurate today. He starts it off with a 9 box. The winner of today's match will face our number 2 seed, Mark Ritchie. 4-6.
Is that an improvement over the 5-7? Not much you can do with that. Got to play that wood anyway.
Oh, right. Right-hand tip, maybe? Nope, or left-hand tip.
Evidently not.
Tremendous shot. That's why he's a veteran on television. He's come through with shots like that. So a spare in the second. Dave Godwin is back up. And he's looking at the 8-pin. He's got a couple pieces of wood, and it's the fall, and we might be serving up some duck soup here, made courtesy of Mrs. Riley. Salt and pepper, and there's your duck soup. Spare in the first. He came into the string leading by 15. He's opposite the 9 box, so let's see what the fill is here as he moves over to lane 6.
Manages to carry the 10-pin. It almost looked like he was going to have a split there. Leaves the 2, 4, and 7 with a piece of wood up against the 7.
$10. Peter's back up on lane 7, looking to load up on the spare he had in the second. And he loads it up with a big 9, and he has the 7-pin all alone. Richie's been good on those singles today.
Spot on. That should be a nickel.
I'm sorry.
Both our bowlers, they were 6 for 6 up until that point. 6 for 7 still is pretty good. Makes a 10 box out of it.
That's how you have a high single of 211 and a high triple of 498, because you have that ability to move on and focus on this next ball.
That was better than the ball with the 9 drop, I thought.
Leaves the corners full. There's a shot of Peter surveying the wood on the deck.
I think you've got to almost go right at the 10-pin here and hope that wood shoots across.
Well, we've seen him make some great shots. Let's see what he does. No, it didn't happen this time for him.
The real problem you have to face here is the fact that there's 2 pieces of wood near the 7-pin, so it almost acts like a shield. So that pin, the wood coming over, may not even knock the pin over because of the other ones in the way.
Exactly. So Peter's at 48 after 4, and Dave has a couple of opens to work with here. See if he can take advantage. I thought that was a good-looking ball, but he is.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I agree.
5,
he did
7,
move
8,
the
9.
5-pin off its spot, though. That might make it easier for him to cut it over.
He knew as soon as he released it that's not where he wanted it to go, so he's going to be open in third box here. But he matches Peter's 10. $14 the lead in the match. This will be a great finish.
He's looking at the 1 and 8 for a 10. Converts it, keeps the pace with Pete.
So we're going to pause for a moment after these first 4 boxes of our third string of the second round matchup from downtown Amesbury. Peter Pereira leads 48-47. We'll be back with the conclusion right after this timeout. Welcome back to Classic Candlepins, the end of our second round matchup. Peter Pereira trails by 14. Left that ball out a little bit more than he normally does, but he carries 6 and has 1, 2, 7, 8.
Tries to go outside on it. Ends up leaving the 2 and the 7.
Score that a 9. 57.5 here. Five boxes remaining. Peter needs a couple marks here. 1-7.
He's got a piece of wood up against the 7 pin. As long as the ball or the pin doesn't skip in the air, should be very helpful down there.
Yes.
There we go.
Spare in the 6th, and he certainly needed that.
You know, we can use all these adjectives to describe Dave, and we say explosive and throws a great ball, and you just have to look at the scores and just think about what it takes to have these type of numbers. I had the pleasure of bowling with him at the 10-stringer 2011-2012 up in Maine for the Pro Series, and I was coming back from an injury, so I did not bowl well, but second strings he opens up with a 183.
Oh.
Then he goes 116 and 171 after that. It was a clinic.
Well, he's putting on a clinic today. He has a spare here in the 5th.
And he had a shot to win it. He ended up coming in 4th with a 13.37. So, you know, he steps on the lane in the 10th, and we're like, oh, you just need 170, which he'd already done twice.
Side saddle triangle as he fills a spare with 7.
Pushes the lead up to 22. Picks up 8 and count. Pete had a 9 opposite his spare. You know, as I said earlier, he wiped the floor with us last year in a match at our house. He threw a 470, and it was some of the finest bowling I've ever seen. He had 3 doubles. All 3 of them had 9 drops, and he was legitimately, I can't use that word on TV, but he was legitimately unlucky. We'll use unlucky. They should have been triples. He should have thrown a 500. It was fun to watch.
Well, he's the owner of a big triple. He's got a 486, and that wood was not angled that well, and the 7 pin is still up there. You mentioned the wood acting as a shield, and that 7 pin refuses to go down, so score that a 9.
Pete did pick up 9 pins, though, because it was a fill, so the lead for Dave is 13 right now. Buries the head pin again. That's his 7th 9-pin drop on the day.
Yes.
There we go. Back on target.
A stirring conclusion to this second round matchup when you have 2 quality candlepin bowlers. Very easily could have been 3 marks in a row.
That's one of those situations where you have that piece of wood with the 7-pin where you have to just keep throwing your ball. Don't make it different. Don't take speed off. Don't add spin. Just if you throw it spin, throw it spin. If you throw it hard, throw it hard.
Oh, he's a little...
And from where I was sitting, it looked like he threw his ball. So, you know, he did the right thing, I would say.
So a 9 box here. Lead stays at 13. And a split.
On the head pin. Leaves a 7-10 piece of wood over 2 pieces of wood near the 7-pin.
I think the wood behind the piece of wood that's parallel to the pit is actually perpendicular. So let's see if he can move it from left to right.
I think the thing with that pin is it would have played more a role of the flat pin in front moving left to right.
10 box for Dave. The door is ajar for Peter Pereira. He has a spare working here. Seen some great candlepin bowling today, so I'm glad that all of you have tuned in. The 5, 6, 10. No wood to help. Oh! Five pin remains.
Lead for Dave is down to 6 pins.
And a 10
he
box.
needs a mark here, which will force Dave to get one.
Got a break.
Leaves the 1 and the 3.
Needs this. Got it.
Good job. How to get a mark under pressure.
$122 plus a ball. Nice finish.
130. $382 on the day.
I believe Dave needs 22 to tie.
Got
a
break
big
there.
break that time. Looking at the triangle in the corner, 4, 7, 8. Sliding by. $10. Opposite the spare 8 that Peter put up, so. One, 2, 4, 8, 10.
Tough shot.
Yes.
What a shot.
A tremendous clutch shot.
He needs
2
3.
to tie, 3 to win, right?
Yep. 2 to tie, 3 to win.
Here it is. He does enough. 120. He fills it with 7. And a fantastic second round match. Dave Godwin moves on to face Mark Ritchie in our semifinal. The final score from downtown Amesbury, Dave Godwin 387, Peter Pereira 382. We'll be back to talk with our bowlers right after this timeout.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
We are back in downtown Amesbury after the conclusion of our second round matchup. It was a tremendous matchup, a 5-pin difference with Dave Godwin getting the victory. We are here on the line with Peter Pereira, and I thought you bowled very well. You were all over the head pin and all over the object, and did well to negotiate the splits that you had, and make some tremendous cut shots and tremendous finish.
I was pretty happy with the way I bowled. Got a little loose in the second game, but I found the head pin in the last game. Made some good shots at the end. Dave just made a wonderful shot there in the 10th frame, so it was a good close match. Pretty happy with it.
Have you found that I understand that with the 10-pin bowling that you've been doing and that big 198 average that is on the sheet over there, has that helped you with Candlepin at all, making that transition over?
It's a completely different style, really. The one thing it has helped is my arm strength, so I don't have any trouble getting through the ball here. So it's definitely improved my game in the last 6 months or so.
Well, I'm glad that you came out on the show. Tremendous finish today and tremendous bowling here, and we look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was Peter Pereira. And here we have our third seed, Dave Godwin, with a tremendous bowling yourself. Needed a mark to close out the match and came through in the clutch. I thought you bowled excellently today.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Peter made that nice spare in the 10th. Forced me at least a 1 mark in the 9th or 10th box myself, and yeah, it was a nice shot and felt good. I got a little lucky on the first ball, but it's the name of the game sometimes.
I hope to be as good as you someday. What is the coaching fee that Tony Marie is charging you in order for you to get this skill level? Because I want to be where you're at.
Charging is just full of love. Just love. That's all you need.
You were
a gentleman and a scholar.
You were tugging at my heartstrings. We saw that you were open the first 5 boxes in the first string and saw you make some adjustment to close out with an 81.5 in that first string. What was going through your mind to make that adjustment and have you really be tremendous?
I was a little excited. I jacked up in the first few boxes, kind of slowed my feet down. I realized Peter was throwing quite a few marks. I didn't want him to run away on me too fast, so I had to do what I had to do to try and stay in the game, and it felt good to finally get going, boost my confidence, and get rolling.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to seeing you
great job.
Next week on our semifinal matchup against Mark Ritchie, and we look forward to seeing you on Classic Candlepins for our entire crew. And Rich Lamoni, my name is Kyle Bruce. We'll see you next time from downtown Amesbury. Welcome back to the Classic Candlepins Control Center. Our second round matchup is completed, and Mark Ritchie, that you were absolutely correct. You said at the beginning of the broadcast that we had a shot to see the best match that we've had on our TV show, and you were absolutely right. 387 to 382, and Dave Godwin moves on. What a match.
That match was unbelievable. That had everything you wanted. It had strikes, it had spares. Davey Godwin ran 4 in a row in the first game, including a strike in there, I believe. And then the second game, he runs 5 in a row to get himself right back in the match. At the very end, 5 pins. Come on, that's not even 1 full box. What a great match. You just had a feeling that these two guys were going to go to war, and they did, and it was by far the best match that we've seen so far. Congratulations to Davey for winning a big match, and I know for a fact we'll see Pereira back after a match like that. We will definitely see him back. Nice job to you too, Peter.
Now, for our semifinal matchup, Dave will move on to a man I'm not even sure how he got into, led into the lanes to qualify for this matchup. You know, this is someone who really doesn't know very much about bowling, and I'm not even sure how he qualified at all. So
I heard he cheated.
Well,
I don't know how else they would have let this guy in there. I really have no clue. I hear he comes in and mops the lanes every once in a while. You know, maybe cleans a few pins. I don't know. I don't even understand how they let me in there. I mean, him.
Definitely him. 6:31 to finish second in this roll-off by the perennial house bowler, Mark Ritchie.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Anyway.
It's okay. I knew this was coming. Yes, I finished second in the roll-offs. I finally got a chance to bowl in the roll-offs, and I made the qualifier and qualified second in the ladders. So next week I'll have a match against Dave. I won't be here. Rich, I'm sorry. Kyle will have a co-host next week for the opening of the next show. But hopefully I can put a nice show on for everybody to see, and maybe you'll enjoy it, and maybe they'll let me back. I don't even know. Considering I own the place, if I don't win, they'll probably kick me out. So who even knows?
Well, if I had any influence at all, I would most definitely throw you out.
I know that for a fact. This is true.
Right. So, our semifinal matchup next week, Dave Godwin, our third seed, moves on to face Mark Ritchie. For our entire crew and Mark Ritchie, I'm Kyle Bruce. We'll see you next week on Classic Candlepins.
How did they let me in here again? I don't even know how they let me do this.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We were short on help.
Oh, all right.
All right.